where the fair winds blow. Our home is where the waters flow. We'll show you what we've come to know on board while sailing wisdom.
Ready? You're free.
A bit of a hack for sailing women out there. If you want literally any sailing pants with big pockets, they don't exist. So I went to REI and I got these shorts in the men's section. And now I can fit my phone in here, ride in the dinghy, no problem. Giant pockets.
Charlie, move your tail. So our Isinglass is absolutely filthy and we cannot see through it. So I'm now going to clean it with stuff that we've been carrying since we first set off cruising. And I have used it once before. So if you're looking at this and thinking that is filthy Isinglass, you are correct. So this is 6 years old, 6 years of gunk.
We waited till the end of the trip to clean it.
Yes. Uh-oh. Don't die on me, can that is about 10 years old.
Speaking of cans, where's the food? Oh, it's still left.
Yep, good job. Filthy. Just wait till I do the outside.
I was gonna say, it barely makes a difference.
Still cloudy and invisibly not see-through. Whoa, that's a filthy one. Ah, there's a dirty diaper. We have children now and make diaper jokes. Keep going.
One thing about sailing in the bay is the absolute annoyance of crab traps. They're everywhere and people really don't care about putting them in places that are more convenient for boaters. They're just in the middle of the channel all the time. Tons and tons of crab traps. So we have fouled crab traps before, and when you do, it is so annoying. So we always have to have one person on the bow pointing out crab traps and the other person following directions, because it is impossible to see them when you're back here. So, poo poo.
That's good.
Oh no!
What happened? What happened?
There's a frog.
There's a frog. There's a frog.
I think it's dead.
So we take him back to the house.
Is he our frog now?
He's our pet frog. Hello everybody, this is Jimmy. here's our new pet. Red one.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Red one!
Like the sperm whale. Sperm whale. We're next to it. If you're curious what I used to clean this, it was the RX from West Marine. I don't know if this is the packaging anymore because I bought this can about 10 years ago. And I've used it twice. This is the second time. It works though. Time for a little weather reading lesson. So, we're in the Chesapeake Bay and I see a massive storm actually where we're heading. Now, do we need to reef? Do we need to reef now? Can we reef later? All those questions come up and there's a really easy way to tell. So, there's a couple tricks here. So first, next to the storm, right there's some smokestacks and you can see the smoke is rising vertically. It's rising vertically, which means there's no wind there. So that means that this is not causing a lot of wind. Second, you look at the rain. The edge of the rain is flat. It's completely vertical. Now, if the rain is coming down vertically, that means that there's no wind with it. It's just water. If the rain's coming down at like a really steep angle like that in the distance, you know there's gonna be a lot of wind and in the direction the rain is pointing. So that's a really easy way to look at something in the distance and tell, is that gonna hurt? Or is it not gonna be bad? Now, naturally, I'm gonna keep watching this like a hawk. If I see that smokestack, like the smoke coming out, bend over, or the rain starts coming down at an angle, or a bunch of whitecaps start coming at us, or the temperature drops, any of those things, we're dropping our sails and we're going to reef down severely. And being how it's the bay and we're out of the channel and it's really shallow, we might even just drop all the sails and anchor, let it blow over for like 10, 15 minutes, whatever it takes, and then keep going after that. Okay, things have changed. If you look at the chimney, You can see the smoke's now blowing to the side. So there's more wind, we're having lightning, thunder. So Maddie's up there, she's dropping Josh, our jib, and we're going to hopefully see which way the wind's blowing. If the wind is too much against us, we'll have to anchor, let it pass, and then keep going after that. Otherwise, hopefully we can make it in and it's not too horrible. We shall see. Like directly ahead of us where we see nothing, yeah. That's where we're going. I really think we should stop and anchor.
I just would be more concerned about anchoring than riding through it.
I feel the opposite.
Okay.
Okay, I feel that I have some explaining to do. Normally, our rules are reef down, all those things. Never go bare poles. And I told Maddie, drop all the sails. Squall's coming. And she's like, what? I don't think I made it very clear that we were going to be anchoring. And that's why I dropped the sails, because in like a couple moments we were going to be anchoring. And the wind hadn't come yet. Had the wind been there, yes, anchor with the sail up. Then drop the sails. But yeah, so we are anchored outside the channel, but in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay in an area that's got 17 feet of water. It's 11 feet under our keel. We have 180 feet of chain out with a 30-foot snubber. So we are anchored to hold stuff. We are already medium stayed, which means that the snubber is being pulled out a bit. It's not being pulled taut, but it's blowing. Now, I'm expecting that when this thing hits us, it's gonna spin us around and blow us the other way, which is why we're anchoring. Huge change of plans. We were making great time. We were gonna get to Baltimore by like 7 o'clock, but this thing looked real nasty.
Now, we've talked about this extensively in our storm tactics video, but basically what we're doing now is impossible in the ocean. If you come across a storm in the ocean, you can't just drop your anchor. You're in like 3 miles of water before you get to the surface. So what you do in the ocean is never ever drop your sails down to bare poles. You put up that storm sail, you either use a storm jib or a trysail, and you heave to and wait for it to pass. That is the safest course of action. Never ever drop all your sails.
Okay, so far it's just rain, but not much wind. And definitely not a change in the wind direction, so that's nice. But I'm glad we're also not sailing in this, because I can't see much at all. Like, day markers are disappearing into the haze. Okay, the wind did shift. What was a tailwind has become a headwind, so it's a good thing we're not trying to fight that. Second, we can't see anything out there because it's raining so hard. Visibility's gone. And third, we saw a giant tanker go by us. He was close, and he was not very visible, which means that we could encounter something like that, and that would really suck. But the new wind direction means that we're now dealing with leftover slop from the previous wind, which was really nice and all day. So it had some good waves going with it. And now suddenly the wind's from a new direction and making its own waves, and it's a little washing machine-ish. But thankfully, Maddie has that bracelet on, and she seems to be doing quite well. We're making dinner. We got the chicken almost done grilling. Maddie's made this awesome dill rice. Got the generator running, which is loud, but then we're inside with air conditioning. So, you know, not so bad. Okay, well, Charlie seems to want to go to bed right now. And you go, Charles. Yeah, Charlie. Yes, good night, Charles. Love you all. All right, well, you can see that's the way we're going. That's the storm that passed us. I'm dry. So we got the generator on, that way Maddie can still have air conditioning. She's getting dinner finished up. I'm gonna get this anchor raised, that way we can get back, because I put 180 feet of chain out that I now have to pull up. nice part about raising anchor in the middle of nowhere is there is no rush to get back to the cockpit, because there's nothing for you to drift into.
The mangled one was Harry's. I figured you would want to pick off the stuff that was left.
Thank you. Serious question. We'll get near the bridge by 9:30. Sunset's at 8:30. That ships. If we go like through the absolute center of the old channel, what do you think? Or we could anchor outside. So it appears that today is just the day for breaking our rules. So one of our big rules is never go bare poles, and we went bare poles, but we were anchoring. Second is never enter a harbor at night, because you can't see things. Now, the reason we're going to break that is because when I was younger, I used to sail back into Baltimore all the time in the dark. Not great, especially since I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but I've definitely done it a lot, and I know where things are, like really, really well, because I did it in the dark all the time. So I was dumb and young. But point being, we're gonna come in. I just want to get through the Key Bridge area, hopefully with some light, because that part freaks me out, because that's new. Key Bridge used to be a really well-lit, well-marked structure, and now that part's gone. So now there's just rocks in the water that aren't well marked. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. Here we are. Have a baby, and we're gonna try to get to our home port. That way we can plug in, have air conditioning, and just let everyone rest back up. Okay, so we're approaching the channel now. There's tugs and a cargo ship coming out. After they come out, then we're gonna slip in. Now I can see the range lights, and range lights are super important, because in a situation like this, where what is what? There's so many lights in the city. How can you tell where your navigation markers are and all that? Range lights will tell you when you're not only in the middle of the channel, but that you stay in the middle of the channel. Now in Baltimore, since there's so much white lights, the range lights are actually green and red. So you get the red one is the aft one and the high one. So you get the green and red lined up. That means you're in the middle of the channel, and then you can just stay in the middle of the channel and you won't hit anything. So we're gonna keep sailing this way until those lights line up, and then we will turn and make our way in.
In the corner of the crowded room, your eyes meet mine. Conversations fill the air, lost in space and time. I don't ask for your name, it's already carved in the air. I won't light a flame, it's already burning when you are near. Taking steps to keep my distance, am I strong enough to guide my heart away from it all? I won't call your name, it's already carved in the air.
We made it home. We're in our slip in Baltimore. I will say it was an interesting ending to our journey. All in all, it was a fantastic little 2-week trip. living on board again was super fun, and it brought back a lot of memories, a lot of muscle memory. Everything just kind of fell into place. It was really, really nice. The only challenge, I'll say the biggest challenge was the heat. It was the middle of July, so it was like the hottest part of the summer on the Chesapeake Bay, and it was deadly hot. So that was tough. But since we had the generator, we were able to run the AC while we were anchored, and that made a giant difference. It really did make everything okay. So it's really late. It's almost midnight, and we're exhausted. So more on this tomorrow, but for now, good night and fair winds, everyone.
Thanks for watching this episode of Sailing Wisdom. Don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next Rigging Doctor episode. And if you're interested in even more Rigging Doctor awesomeness, consider becoming a patron to see all of our extras. Can't wait to see you next time as you join us out here on the high seas.